Commander Lee Daeho stared at the message on his screen for the third time. His hand shook with anger as he read the words again. The Valthari hegemony wanted 3 of humanity's best farming colonies, not as payment for trade, not as rent for space, as tribute, like humans were their slaves. He had been a soldier for 30 years. He had watched the alien races treat humans like children who could not think for themselves. Every treaty favored the aliens. Every trade deal left humans with less. Every meeting ended with humans bowing their heads and saying, "Yes, masters." Lee was tired of it all. The message came from Kepler Prime, the big space station where all the important meetings happened. Diplomat Yoon Tae-young was there trying to make a deal for grain shipments. The Valthari had made their demand in front of everyone. 3 colonies. Take it or leave the Galactic Council forever. Lee's communicator buzzed. Dr. Park Hyejin's face appeared on the small screen. Her eyes were red from crying. "Daeho, are you watching the news feed from Kepler Prime?" she asked. "I just got the report about the tribute demand," Lee said. "It's madness. Those colonies feed millions of people." "No, not that. Something worse happened." Park's voice broke. "They killed Tae-young." Lee felt his blood turn cold. "What?" "The Valthari enforcer just shot him. Right there in the meeting hall. Said he was being disrespectful for trying to negotiate." Park wiped her eyes. "They're calling it a lesson in proper behavior." Lee stood up so fast his chair fell over. Around the command center, other officers stopped their work to look at him. They could see the rage on his face. "Show me," he said. The video feed appeared on the main screen. Everyone in the room watched as Yoon Tae-young, a man with 3 children back on Earth, tried to explain why losing 3 colonies would cause starvation. The Valthari enforcer, a huge alien covered in scales, listened for maybe 10 seconds. Then it pulled out a weapon and fired. Tae-young fell to the floor. Dead. The alien looked at the camera and spoke in its clicking language. The translation appeared at the bottom of the screen. "This is what happens when lesser species forget their place." Silence filled the command center. 20 officers stared at the screen. Some had tears in their eyes. Others had hands rolled into fists. Lee thought about his own children. His daughter was studying to be a doctor. His son wanted to be a pilot. Both of them lived on one of the colonies the Valthari wanted to take. What would happen to them if the aliens got their way? Captain Kim Woo-bin entered the room. He saw everyone staring at the screen and the anger on their faces. "I just heard," Kim said. "The news is spreading everywhere. Every human colony, every ship, every station." "Good," Lee said. "People need to know what we're dealing with." Dr. Park appeared on the communication system again. This time she was not crying. Her face showed the same anger that Lee felt. "Daeho, I have something to tell you, something I've been keeping secret for years." She looked around to make sure no one else could hear her. "Remember how the Council always said we were too primitive for advanced weapons? Too simple for real military power? Of course. They've been saying that since we joined. They were wrong. We've been building things. Lots of things. Hidden things." Park's eyes burned with intensity. "I've been working with scientists across all the colonies. We've been ready for this day." Lee felt his heart beat faster. "What kind of things?" "The kind that would make the Valthari think twice about killing our people." Before Lee could ask more questions, his main communication board lit up with incoming messages. Colony after colony was reporting the same thing. Humans everywhere had seen the video. They were angry. They were ready to fight. Admiral Choi Nari's face appeared on the priority channel. She was the highest-ranking human in the fleet. Her face looked like stone. "Commander Lee, are you receiving the reports from our colonies?" "Yes, Admiral." "The people are angry." "Angry is too small a word." Choi's voice was calm but deadly. "I'm getting calls from every human world. They want action. They want justice." "What are your orders, Admiral?" Choi was quiet for a long moment. Behind her, Lee could see the bridge of her flagship. Officers were moving quickly, preparing for something big. "For almost 100 years we've played by their rules," she said. "We've bowed when they told us to bow. We've given them what they wanted when they demanded it. We've let them treat us like pets who learn to speak." Lee nodded. Every human knew this pain. "Today that ends," Choi continued. "I'm about to send a message to every ship, every colony, every human in the galaxy. We're leaving the Council. We're done being their servants. Admiral, that could mean war." "War?" Choi almost smiled. "Commander, They just declared war on us when they murdered our diplomat for trying to talk. We're just going to finish it." The communication ended. Lee looked around his command center. Every officer was watching him, waiting for orders. These were good people, smart people, people who had families and dreams and hopes for the future. The Valthari thought humans were weak because they cared about each other. The aliens saw kindness as weakness. They made a mistake. 30 minutes later, Admiral Choi's message went out on every communication channel in the galaxy. Her words were simple and clear. To the so-called elder races of this galaxy, "Humanity hereby withdraws from your council. We reject your authority. We will no longer kneel. Consider this your only warning." The message played on every human ship, every human colony, every human station, but it also reached alien worlds. For the first time in galactic history, a junior species had told the powerful aliens no. Lee watched the reactions pour in from across human space. The response was the same everywhere. It was about time. He looked at the picture on his desk. His wife and children smiled back at him. They deserved a galaxy where they could live with dignity, where they could grow up without aliens telling them they were not good enough. The Valthari had wanted to teach humans a lesson about knowing their place. Instead, they had taught humans something else entirely. Sometimes saying enough is the most important thing a person can do. Today, all of humanity said it together. The news of humanity's declaration spread through the galaxy like fire. On the Valthari homeworld, High Enforcer Thaknor watched the human message for the 5th time. He made a sound that other species might mistake for laughter. "They think they can threaten us," he told his advisors. "These soft little creatures who cry when they see violence." Around the Great Hall, other Valthari nodded their scaled heads. They had ruled over dozens of species for thousands of years. Humans were just the latest to learn their place. "Should we send more ships to their worlds?" asked Sub-Enforcer Krelvos. "Not yet," Thaknor replied. "Let them think about what they said. Let them realize how foolish they were. Then they will come back and beg for forgiveness." On the crystal worlds of the convergence, the group mind processed the human declaration with confusion. How could a species act as one without sharing thoughts? How could they make such a big decision so quickly? The void swimmers floating in their dark ships between the stars felt something they rarely experienced: surprise. In all their long lives, they had never seen a junior species reject the Council's authority. But in all 3 civilizations, the reaction was the same. Humans were primitive. Humans were emotional. Humans would realize their mistake and return to their proper place. They were wrong. Han Ji-woo worked in a hidden lab buried deep inside an asteroid. For 15 years, he had been taking apart alien technology and building something better. The Valthari thought humans were too simple to understand their weapons. The crystalline convergence believed humans were too individual to master their group-based systems. The void swimmers assumed humans were too young to grasp advanced science. All of them had made the same mistake. "Dr. Park, the quantum communicators are ready," Han said into his headset. "Every human ship, station, and colony can now talk to each other instantly." "No delays, no interference," Dr. Park Hee-jin's voice came back clear and strong. "Good. What about the other projects?" "Colonel Bay's Ghost Battalion finished their training last week. Engineer O has the new ships ready for testing. We have everything we planned for." Han looked around his lab. 40 other scientists worked at stations filled with technology that would amaze the galaxy. Not just human technology, but improvements on everything the aliens had built. Humans had spent decades studying their masters. Now they knew exactly how to beat them. "The Valthari don't know about the Psychological Warfare Division, do they?" Han asked. "Dr. Jang has been very careful," Park replied. 60 years of pretending to be friendly diplomats while studying how their minds work. We know their fears, their weaknesses, their blind spots." Han smiled. The aliens thought humans were simple because they showed emotions. They did not understand that humans could feel angry and still think clearly. They could be kind and still be deadly. Colonel Bae Soo-jin stood in front of her troops on a hidden base orbiting a dead planet. The Ghost Battalion was humanity's best soldiers, trained in secret for 20 years. They knew how to fight in zero gravity, how to move through alien ships, how to turn the aliens' own technology against them. "The Valthari are sending ships to Earth," she told her soldiers. 12 capital ships. "They want to scare us back into line." The soldiers looked back at her with hard eyes. These men and women had volunteered for a mission they might not survive. They did it because they were tired of watching their people suffer. They think humans don't know how to fight real wars, Bay continued. They think we're too soft, too caring. They're about to learn how wrong they are. Engineer Oh Kyung-soo put the final touches on the ship that would change everything. The indomitable Spirit looked like a normal human warship from the outside. Big, strong, but nothing special. The aliens expected humans to build simple, crude vessels. They did not know about the dimensional armor that could shift between realities. They did not know about the weapons that fired concentrated gravity. They did not know about the AI that could think faster than any alien brain. Captain Kim, your ship is ready, Oh announced. Captain Kim Woo-bin walked through his new command deck. Everything looked normal. Standard controls, standard displays, standard crew stations. But behind every panel was technology that did not exist anywhere else in the galaxy. How long until the Valthari fleet arrives? Kim asked. 6 hours, Oh replied. They're coming in slowly, trying to look impressive. 12 ships against 1. Kim almost felt sorry for them. Almost. The Valthari fleet commander, war leader Zoth Kine, watched Earth grow larger on his screens. The small blue planet looked so peaceful, so helpless. One little human ship waited in orbit, alone. Are they really going to fight us with one ship? Asked his second-in-command. Humans are stupid, but not that stupid, Zoth Kane replied. They probably have mines or defensive platforms or some trick. He was wrong again. Captain Kim Woo-bin stood on his bridge as the alien ships approached. His crew was calm. They had trained for this moment their entire careers. Incoming transmission from the Valthari fleet, his communications officer reported. Put it on screen. War leader Zoth Kine appeared on the display. His scaled face showed the arrogance of a species that had never lost a battle. Human vessel, you will surrender immediately, the alien said. Your world will submit to Valthari authority. Your colonies will be transferred to our control. This is your last chance to avoid destruction. Kim looked at the alien for a long moment. Then he smiled. You killed our diplomat yesterday, Kim said. You demanded our colonies as tribute. You treated us like animals for 100 years. His smile grew wider. Today you learn what animals can do when they get angry. The transmission ended. Kim turned to his weapons officer. Fire. The indomitable Spirit moved like nothing the Valthari had ever seen. It shifted between dimensions, appearing behind ships that thought they were safely in formation. Its weapons tore through alien armor like paper. Its defenses made every alien shot pass harmlessly through empty space. The battle lasted 4 minutes and 17 seconds. When it was over, 12 Valthari capital ships were nothing but debris floating in space. The indomitable Spirit hung in orbit around Earth, completely undamaged. Across the galaxy, every species watched the recordings in shock. The humans had not just won. They had made it look easy. War leader Zoth Kane's final transmission had been broadcast everywhere. Impossible. How did they? Then nothing. High Enforcer Thaknor stared at his screens in disbelief. His most powerful fleet was gone, destroyed by creatures he thought were barely smarter than animals. The crystalline convergence shared confused thoughts across their network. How had they been so wrong about human capabilities? The Void Swimmers felt something they had not experienced in millennia. Fear. Dr. Park Hae-jin watched the battle reports with satisfaction. Phase 1 was complete. The galaxy now knew that humans could fight, but they did not yet know how much humans had been hiding. Admiral Choi, she said into her communicator, the Valthari fleet is destroyed. 0 human casualties. Good, came the reply. Now we move to Phase 2. It's time to show them what humans can really do. All across human space, hidden bases came alive. Ships that looked like simple transports revealed their true nature. Soldiers who had pretended to be farmers picked up weapons. They had been hiding for decades. The aliens had spent a century believing they were superior to humanity. They were about to learn how dangerous it is to underestimate your enemies. The destruction of the Valthari fleet sent shockwaves through every alien world. High Enforcer Thaknor called emergency meetings with the other major powers. For the first time in galactic history, the 3 ruling species agreed to work together against a common threat. The humans have been lying to us, Thaknor told the gathered leaders. They are not the primitive species we believed them to be. The crystalline convergence spoke as one voice through their crystal ambassador. Our analysis shows their technology surpasses our own in several areas. This should be impossible. The Void Swimmer representative floated in its tank of dark liquid. We have underestimated them severely. The question now is how to correct this mistake. But while the alien leaders talked, humanity was already moving. Lieutenant Commander Seo Minho climbed into his fighter craft on a hidden base in the Outer Rim. Around him, 30 other pilots from Reaper Wing prepared for the mission that would change everything. Remember, we hit fast and get out, Seo told his squadron. Target their communication arrays first, then their command ships. No heroics, no unnecessary risks. The fighters launched into space invisible to alien sensors. Human technology had advanced far beyond what the galaxy believed possible. These ships could phase between dimensions, hide from any scanner, and strike with weapons that bent reality itself. Dr. Yang Eunbi watched from the command center as her psychological warfare division prepared their attack. For decades, she had studied alien behavior while pretending to be a simple cultural researcher. She knew exactly how each species thought, what they feared, and how to break their will to fight. The Valthari respond to challenges against their hierarchy, she explained to her team. Show them their leaders failing and their entire command structure will collapse. What about the crystalline convergence? Asked one of her assistants. Their group mind is their strength and their weakness. Introduce chaos into their shared thoughts and they cannot function. Jiang smiled coldly. I have something special planned for them. General Kwon Dong-hyun coordinated the attack from Earth's hidden command center. On his screens, he could see 17 different star systems where human forces were about to strike. Each attack was carefully planned to exploit specific weaknesses in alien defenses. All units report ready, his communications officer announced. Begin Operation Awakening, Kwon ordered. Across the galaxy, humanity struck at exactly the same moment. In the Valthari core systems, Seo Minho's fighters appeared from nowhere. They moved through alien formations like ghosts, targeting the command ships that held the strict hierarchy together. But they did not just destroy the ships. They broadcast recordings of Valthari leaders begging for mercy, crying in fear, abandoning their posts. The proud warrior culture of the Valthari began to crack. If their leaders were cowards, what did that make them? Against the crystalline convergence, Dr. Jiang's weapons were not made of metal or energy. She used their own communication network against them, feeding false information into their shared mind. Suddenly, convergence ships were seeing enemies that did not exist, following orders that had never been given. The crystal beings, who had ruled through perfect coordination for thousands of years, found themselves unable to trust their own thoughts. The void swimmers faced a different kind of horror. Human ships appeared in the deep space where they lived, bringing light and noise and activity. The ancient beings who loved the quiet darkness between stars were forced to face their deepest fear, chaos. But the real surprise was not the attacks themselves. It was what happened next. On Valthari colony worlds, the local populations did not fight the human forces. Instead, they surrendered immediately. Some even welcomed the humans as liberators. Why are they not fighting? War leader Grakthos demanded as he watched his colonies fall one by one. His aide was afraid to answer. Sir, our colonial subjects never liked us very much. They only obeyed because they were afraid. Now they see humans defeating us and they think they have a chance to be free. The same thing was happening across convergent space. Species that had been forced into the crystal hive mind for centuries were breaking free. They remembered what it was like to have their own thoughts, their own dreams. Commander Lee Dae-ho led the liberation of the outer colonies. He had expected to fight desperate battles against alien forces. Instead, he found himself accepting the surrender of entire fleets. Why are you giving up so easily? He asked a Valthari commander who had just handed over his ship. The alien looked ashamed. We were told humans were weak because you care about each other. We were told this made you easy to defeat. The Valthari hung his head. We were never told what happens when something threatens what you care about. Captain Lim So-young commanded the Silent Hunters, a fleet of stealth ships that struck without warning and vanished before the enemy could respond. Her mission was to capture alien technology and intelligence, but she kept finding something unexpected. General Kwon, you need to see this, she reported from a captured Valthari base. They have records going back centuries. They knew humans were advancing faster than they told us. They were afraid of what would happen if we ever unified. What do you mean? Kwon asked. They have been working to keep human colonies separate to prevent us from coordinating. They knew that if we ever worked together, we would be unstoppable. The revelation spread through human forces like wildfire. The aliens had not just been oppressing humanity out of arrogance. They had been actively working to keep humans weak because they feared human potential. Dr. An Hyun-woo, working from his laboratory on a hidden research station, made an even more shocking discovery. While analyzing captured alien technology, he found something that changed everything. "Admiral Choi, I need to speak with you immediately," he said over the secure channel. "What is it, Doctor?" "I've been studying their faster-than-light technology. It's not what we thought. They're not moving through space, they're moving through dimensions. But they're doing it the hard way." "Explain." "Humans have been approaching this problem differently. We've been trying to move through dimensional barriers instead of around them. I think we can do something they never imagined." An's discovery would change the war, but first, humanity had to deal with the immediate threat. The three alien powers were finally taking humans seriously. They were gathering their combined fleets for a massive assault on Earth itself. High Enforcer Thaknor commanded over 3,000 ships. It was the largest fleet in galactic history. "We will end this human rebellion once and for all," he declared. "We will turn their homeworld into a warning for any other species that thinks about defying us." But as the massive alien armada moved toward Earth, humanity was preparing its greatest surprise yet. The aliens thought they were attacking a single world defended by a few human ships. They had no idea they were flying into a trap that would reshape the entire galaxy. Admiral Choi Nari watched the approaching fleet from her command center. Around her, her officers prepared for the battle that would decide the future of every species in the galaxy. "Are all our forces in position?" she asked. "Yes, Admiral. Phase 3 is ready to begin." Choi looked at the screen showing the massive alien fleet. Soon they would learn what happened when predators finally stopped pretending to be prey. "Good," she said. "Let's show them what humans can really do." The largest fleet in galactic history moved toward Earth like a storm cloud of death. 3,000 ships from 3 different species, all united by one purpose: destroy humanity before it could grow any stronger. High Enforcer Thaknor stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the small blue planet grow larger on his screens. Around him, Valthari warriors prepared their weapons with grim determination. They had lost friends and family to human attacks. Now it was time for revenge. "How long until we reach their world?" Thaknor asked. 6 hours, War Leader," his navigator replied. "Their pathetic little fleet is waiting for us in orbit." Thaknor studied the tactical display. 50 human ships hung in space around Earth. 50 ships against 3,000. Even with their new technology, the humans could not possibly win. "Prepare the planet-killer weapons," he ordered. "When we finish with their fleet, we will burn their world to ash." But Commander Yu Jae-sung, watching from Earth's Defense Command Center, was not afraid. He looked at his screen showing the approaching alien armada and smiled. "Phase 4 is ready. Admiral," he reported to Choi Nari. "Good. Begin the evacuation protocol." Across Earth, a strange thing began to happen. Cities that had been full of people suddenly became empty. Factories shut down. Spaceports closed. In a matter of hours, the entire planet seemed to become deserted. Captain Lim So-young, commanding her stealth corvette fleet in the outer system, watched the alien fleet with interest. They moved in perfect formation, confident in their overwhelming numbers. They had no idea what was waiting for them. "Silent hunters, begin Phase Alpha," she ordered. "Target their sensor arrays first." Her ships moved through space like shadows, invisible to alien scanners. One by one, they began destroying the eyes and ears of the massive fleet. But they did it quietly, carefully, so the aliens would not know they were becoming blind and deaf. Dr. An Hyun-woo made final adjustments to his dimensional gateway. For months, he had been working on humanity's greatest secret. While the aliens focused on their ancient technology, humans had discovered something completely new. "The dimensional barrier is stable," he reported. "We can begin the transition at any time." "How many people have we moved?" Admiral Choi asked. "All of them. Every human on Earth, every human in the colonies, every human ship and station. They're all safe in the parallel dimension," Choi nodded. The empty Earth was not a defeat. It was bait. As the alien fleet entered the Sol system, they expected to find desperate human defenders fighting for their homeworld. Instead, they found something that confused them. Every asteroid, every moon, every piece of space debris had been turned into a weapon platform. But there were no humans anywhere. Where are they? War Leader Krell Voss asked his commander. The planet looks empty. The space stations are abandoned. Thaknor stared at his screens in confusion. His intelligence had said Earth held 8 billion humans. His sensors showed none. Search every ship, every station, every hiding place, he ordered. They must be here somewhere. For 2 hours, the massive alien fleet searched the Sol system. They found weapons platforms that could have destroyed entire fleets, but no one to operate them. They found cities that could hold millions of people, but no people to live in them. War Leader, his science officer, reported, I'm detecting strange energy readings from the planet's surface, something we've never seen before. Before Thaknor could respond, space around his fleet began to change. Reality itself seemed to shift and bend. Ships that had been in empty space suddenly found themselves surrounded by human vessels that appeared from nowhere. Dr. On's dimensional gateway had opened. But the humans did not just appear around Earth. They appeared everywhere. In the alien homeworld systems around every major alien colony, near every important alien base. While the aliens had gathered their fleets to attack Earth, humanity had used dimensional technology to strike at the heart of alien civilization. Admiral Choi Nari materialized on the bridge of her flagship in Earth orbit, facing the confused alien armada. Around her, the entire human fleet phased back into normal space. This is Admiral Choi of the Human Federation. She broadcast on all frequencies. You came here to destroy our world. Instead, you will find that we now hold yours. On the Valthari homeworld, human ships appeared in the sky above every major city. The proud warrior race that had terrorized the galaxy for millennia suddenly found themselves defenseless. The crystalline convergence worlds, with their beautiful crystal cities, were surrounded by human forces that could strike at any moment. Their perfect coordination meant nothing when they could not reach their ships. The void swimmers hiding in the dark spaces between stars discovered that humans could find them even there. The shadows they loved had become their prison. High Enforcer Thaknor realized the trap too late. Impossible. How did they move so many ships without us detecting them? We didn't move through space, Admiral Choi replied calmly. We moved through dimensions.
While you were planning to attack us with yesterday's technology,
we were building tomorrow's. Commander Lee Dae-ho, now commanding human forces around the Valthari homeworld, sent his own message to the alien leaders below. Your fleets are trapped in our solar system, he told them. Your worlds are under our guns. Your people are at our mercy. You have one choice. Surrender, or watch your civilizations burn. The aliens had expected to find humans cowering in fear. Instead, they found themselves completely outmaneuvered by a species they had dismissed as primitive. This cannot be happening, the crystalline convergence shared across their network. We are the elder races. We are superior. Superiority is not about age, Captain Kim Woo-bin replied from his position around their core world. It's about who adapts better to change. The void swimmers, ancient beyond measure, felt something they had not experienced in millions of years: helplessness. These young humans had done something the old races thought impossible. Dr. Yang Yunbi, monitoring alien communications from her command ship, watched as panic spread through enemy forces. Their careful plans had crumbled. Their overwhelming numbers meant nothing when they were in the wrong place. They're trying to negotiate, she reported to Admiral Choi. All 3 species are asking for terms. Not yet, Choi replied. First, they need to understand their situation completely. She opened a channel to every alien world, every alien ship, every alien leader. For 100 years, you treated us like children who needed your guidance, she said. You took our resources, limited our growth, and killed our people when we dared to speak up. Her voice was calm, but everyone listening could hear the iron beneath it. You believed we were weak because we cared about each other. You thought compassion was a flaw. You were wrong. On screens across the galaxy, aliens watched as human ships demonstrated their power, not by destroying worlds, but by showing they could destroy them at any moment. We do not want to rule over you the way you ruled over us, Choi continued. We do not want to see your children starve the way you made ours starve. But neither will we allow you to return to the old ways. The message was clear. Humanity had won completely, but they were offering mercy. It was more than the aliens had ever offered to anyone else. High Enforcer Thaknor, surrounded by human ships in Earth orbit, felt his proud warrior heart break. His people had been defeated not by superior force but by superior thinking. "What do you want from us?" he asked. Admiral Choi's answer would reshape the galaxy forever. "We want what you never gave us," she said. "Respect." The galaxy held its breath as Admiral Choi Nari's words echoed across every world, every ship, every communication channel. 3,000 alien vessels hung helpless in Earth's solar system, while human fleets surrounded their homeworlds. For the first time in galactic history, the elder races faced complete defeat. High Enforcer Thak Nor, his proud Valthari fleet trapped and powerless, struggled to understand what the humans wanted. Respect was not something his people gave easily. They took it by force and held it through fear. "What does respect mean to your species?" he asked, his voice heavy with the weight of his defeat. Admiral Choi looked at the alien commander on her screen. Behind his scales and fierce appearance, she could see something she had not expected: genuine confusion. "The Valthari truly did not understand. It means treating us as equals," she replied. "It means asking instead of demanding. It means working together instead of ruling over." Ambassador Park Sang-min, humanity's new chief diplomat, stepped forward. For years he had watched alien negotiators talk down to humans like they were children. Now the roles were reversed, but he chose a different path. "We know you find this hard to understand," Park said to the gathered alien leaders. "Your species have ruled for so long that you forgot what partnership looks like. But we're willing to teach you." The crystalline convergence, their shared mind buzzing with confusion, spoke through their ambassador. "You have defeated us completely. Why do you not simply take what you want?" Commander Lee Sulky, now overseeing the integration of alien refugees on liberated worlds, answered from her position near their core system. "Because taking by force is what you did. We're trying to build something better." The truth was spreading across the galaxy. On dozens of worlds that had been enslaved by the three major powers, populations were learning that humans offered something their old masters never had: freedom to choose their own path. President Moon Jae-hye, elected as the first leader of the new Galactic Federation, addressed the entire galaxy from Earth's rebuilt capital. Her words were translated into every language spoken among the stars. "Today we offer you a choice," she said. "Join us in building a galaxy where every species is respected, where trade benefits everyone, where conflicts are solved with words instead of weapons, or return to your old ways and face the consequences." The choice was not difficult. The old order had brought nothing but suffering to most of the galaxy. The new Federation offered hope. High Enforcer Thak Nor was the first to make his decision. Standing on the bridge of his defeated flagship, he removed the symbols of his rank and set them aside. "The Valthari hegemony surrenders," he announced. "We accept your terms." One by one, the other alien leaders followed. The crystalline convergence dissolved their forced hive mind, allowing member species to think for themselves again. The void swimmers emerged from their hiding places to join the community of species they had avoided for so long. Dr. Park Hye-jin, now serving as the Federation's first science coordinator, watched the transformation with amazement. In just months, the galaxy had changed from a place of oppression to one of cooperation. 10 years ago, we were begging for scraps from their table, she told her staff. Now we're teaching them how to build a better table for everyone. But the transformation was not without challenges. Commander Lee Daeho, now head of Federation Security, knew that not everyone accepted the new order willingly. "We're getting reports of rebel groups in the outer systems," he reported to President Moon. "Some Valthari commanders refuse to accept the surrender. Some convergent splinter groups want to rebuild the old hive mind. And," Moon asked, "they're learning that the galaxy has changed. Other species are reporting their movements to us. No one wants to return to the old ways." The truth was that humanity had done more than win a war. They had shown the galaxy what real strength looked like. Not the strength to dominate others, but the strength to lift them up. Captain Kim Woo-bin, his famous ship now leading Federation patrols, discovered this during a routine mission to the Rim worlds. He found a Valthari outpost that had been cut off during the war, still following the old rules. "You will submit to Valthari authority," the local commander demanded when Kim's ship arrived. "The war is over," Kim replied calmly. "Your people surrendered months ago." "Impossible. We are the superior race." Kim could have destroyed the outpost in seconds. Instead, he invited the Valthari commander aboard his ship and showed him recordings from across the galaxy. former slaves building their own cities, mixed crews of different species working together, trade agreements that benefited everyone involved. The Valthari commander watched in silence. Finally, he spoke. I do not understand. How do you control so many species without force? We don't control them, Kim explained. We work with them. It turns out people fight harder for something they choose than for something they're forced to accept. Within a week, the outpost had requested to join the Federation. Dr. An Hyunwoo, his dimensional technology now shared with scientists from every species, made discoveries that would have been impossible under the old system. When different minds worked together instead of competing, progress happened faster than anyone had imagined. We've opened gateways to 7 parallel dimensions, he reported to the Science Council. Each one offers resources and knowledge we never dreamed of. The Federation was not just changing the galaxy, it was expanding beyond it. 10 years after humanity said enough, the transformation was complete. The galaxy that had once been ruled by fear was now guided by hope. Species that had been enemies for millennia worked side by side on projects that benefited everyone. Admiral Choi Nari, now retired but still respected as the architect of the new order, sat in her garden on Earth and watched ships from dozens of species come and go in peaceful trade. Her granddaughter played nearby with friends whose parents came from worlds across the galaxy. Grandmother, the little girl asked, why did the old aliens try to be mean to us? Choi thought for a moment. Because they were afraid, dear one. Afraid that if they weren't in charge, someone would hurt them the way they hurt others. That's silly, the girl said. It's better when everyone helps each other. Yes, Choi agreed. It is. But even in peace, humanity remained vigilant. Commander Lee Dae-ho, older now but still sharp, maintained watch stations throughout the galaxy. The Federation had brought peace, but peace required protection. His monitoring stations detected something troubling, signals from beyond the galactic rim. Another civilization, one that had not learned the lessons of cooperation. Admiral Choi, he called her on the secure channel they maintained for emergencies. We may have a problem. Choi listened to his report with the same calm attention she had shown during the war. When he finished, she was quiet for a long moment. What do you recommend? She asked. The same thing we did before. Show them that cooperation is stronger than domination. And if they don't listen, Lee's voice carried the weight of someone who had seen war and chose peace, but was ready to fight again if necessary. Then we remind them why the galaxy learned to respect humanity. Across the Federation, from Earth to the farthest colonies, from ancient alien worlds to new settlements in parallel dimensions, the message was the same. The galaxy had learned that kindness was not weakness, that mercy was not surrender, that working together was stronger than ruling alone. Humanity had said enough to oppression once. They had built something better in its place, and they would defend that better world against anyone who tried to bring back the old ways. The day humanity said enough had not just ended a war. It had begun a new age where every species could reach for the stars together. And in the depths of space, monitoring stations kept watch, ready to send the same message that had changed everything. We will no longer kneel. Consider this your only warning. Some lessons once learned were never forgotten.